Princess Lyra stood at the observation deck of the diplomatic station, her pale blue fingers tracing the cold metal railing as she listened to the sounds around her. Born without sight to the proud Valyrian Empire, she had learned to navigate the world through her other enhanced senses. The gentle hum of the station's life support systems told her she was alone, just as she preferred. The Valyrian royal court had made their position clear 3 cycles ago. A blind princess could never rule their warrior empire, no matter how keen her mind or how pure her bloodline. Her younger sister Nova had been named heir instead, leaving Lyra exiled to this remote diplomatic outpost on the edge of human space. "Your Highness," came a melodic voice from behind her. Lyra turned, recognizing the speaker as Ambassador Elena, the elven representative from the Woodland Confederacy. The elf's footsteps were always silent, but her voice carried a unique timbre that set her apart. "Please, just call me Lyra," the princess replied, offering a sad smile. "I doubt I'll be using that title much longer." Elena moved closer, her concern evident in the way she shifted her weight. "The Council of Species is still deliberating your request for asylum. There's hope yet." Lyra shook her head, platinum hair catching the artificial starlight streaming through the viewport. "Hope is a luxury I can no longer afford. My people see blindness as weakness, and weakness has no place in the royal bloodline." The conversation was interrupted by heavy footsteps approaching. Unlike Elena's graceful movements, these steps belonged to someone who walked with purpose and confidence. Lyra had come to recognize the gait over the past few weeks. "Ladies," came the warm baritone voice of Commander Jake Mitchell, the human military liaison assigned to the station. Lyra felt her pulse quicken, as it always did when he arrived. Something about his presence made her feel safe in a way she hadn't experienced since childhood. "Commander," Elena greeted politely, "how goes the security assessment?" "All clear," Jake replied, though Lyra detected something else in his tone. "Actually, I was hoping to speak with Lyra about something." Elena excused herself with diplomatic grace, leaving the human and the alien princess alone. Lyra turned toward Jake, tilting her head in the way that helped her focus on his voice. "What is it, Commander?" Jake was quiet for a moment, and Lyra could hear him shifting uncomfortably. "I've been thinking about what you said yesterday, about your people not understanding that different doesn't mean defective." "And?" Lyra prompted, gently. "I did some research on Valyrian culture," Jake continued, his voice growing stronger. "Your people prize physical strength and traditional warrior skills above all else, but they're missing something crucial about leadership." Lyra felt her heart sink. "You're going to tell me they're right, aren't you?" "Hell no," Jake said firmly, surprising her with his vehemence. "I'm going to tell you they're idiots." Despite everything, Lyra found herself smiling at his bluntness. "That's hardly diplomatic, Commander." "Diplomacy is Elena's job," Jake replied with a chuckle. "Mine is recognizing tactical advantage when I see it." "Tactical advantage?" Lyra asked, confusion clear in her voice. Jake moved closer, and she could smell his cologne mixed with the metallic scent of the station. "Lyra, in the 3 weeks I've known you, I've watched you navigate complex political situations that would stump seasoned ambassadors. You read people through their voices, their breathing, their movements. You see through lies that others fall for completely." Lyra felt warmth spreading through her chest at his words. "Jake, let me finish," he interrupted gently. "Your enhanced hearing means you catch whispered conversations in council meetings. Your sense of smell tells you when someone is nervous or lying. Your tactical mind processes information in ways your sighted peers never could. You don't have a disability, Lyra. You have a completely different skill set." Tears began to form in Lyra's sightless eyes. "My people will never see it that way. Then maybe your people don't deserve you," Jake said quietly. The simple statement hung in the air between them. Lyra reached out tentatively, finding Jake's hand with her own. His skin was warm and rough from years of military service, so different from the smooth perfection expected in Valyrian society. "The Asylum Council approved your request this morning," Jake said softly. "Elena was coming to tell you the good news." "I can stay?" Lyra whispered. If you want to, Jake replied. The human colonies have a different perspective on what makes someone valuable. We've learned that diversity of thought and ability makes us stronger, not weaker. Lyra squeezed his hand, feeling hope bloom in her chest for the first time in months. What would I do here? Whatever you choose, Jake said. The diplomatic corps could use someone with your insights. Or you could pursue something completely different. The choice would be yours. For a moment they stood in comfortable silence, hands intertwined as the stars wheeled past the viewport. Lyra had spent her entire life being told what she couldn't do, couldn't achieve. The idea of unlimited possibilities was both thrilling and terrifying. Jake, she said finally, why do you care so much about what happens to me? She felt him tense slightly, and his hand tightened around hers. Because I've fallen in love with an incredible woman who happens to be a Valyrian princess, he said, simply. Because I see your strength where others see weakness. Because you make me want to be a better person. Lyra felt her breath catch in her throat. You love me? Is that so surprising? Jake asked with gentle humor in his voice. I'm blind, exiled, and technically an alien, Lyra pointed out. And you're brilliant, compassionate, and the strongest person I've ever met, Jake countered. Plus you're beautiful, though I suspect you don't hear that nearly enough. Lyra turned fully toward him, releasing his hand to reach up and cup his face. Her fingers traced the strong line of his jaw, the slight roughness of stubble, the warmth of his skin. In my culture, physical touch is reserved for family and life partners. And what am I to you? Jake asked quietly. Lyra smiled, feeling truly happy for the first time since her exile began. You're home, she said simply, before rising on her toes to press her lips to his. As they kissed under the endless canopy of stars, Lyra realized that being rejected by her own people had led her to something far more precious than a crown. She had found acceptance, love, and a future filled with possibilities she never could have imagined. The Valyrian Empire had lost a princess, but humanity had gained something far more valuable, a bridge between worlds, built on understanding rather than prejudice, love rather than tradition. And in Jake's arms, Lyra finally understood that sometimes the greatest strength comes not from what you can see, but from how clearly you can envision what could be.